All right, let's get to the top 10 ways to acquire or control real estate. But first, a few quick notes. Real estate is local. There's different terms used in different places. Most of the people listening to this are probably in Canada, but even across Canada, different provinces have different terminology that they use. In the States, it's different again. And throughout the world, it's different. So don't assume that because I use a term that you're not familiar with, that it won't work in your area. And then at the same time, don't assume that it will. You need to check it out. So always be sure to consult or engage skilled real estate advisors. And by that, I mean real estate brokers, mortgage brokers, a good real estate lawyer, a good real estate accountant. Second, none of these methods will be successful if you're not working with a motivated seller or a motivated vendor. You need to be able to solve somebody's problem if you're going to build a successful investment portfolio. Third, the first two methods that I'm going to share with you are commonly understood. The next 8 are less common and therefore not as well understood in the single-family residential market, but they're extremely common and well known to commercial investors and their advisors. By the way, number 10 is my favorite, so I look forward to getting that one. Fourth, your confidence and competence in presenting any offer is going to make the difference between acceptance and rejection. You can mix and match these techniques to create almost any deal. Your ability to rapidly determine which technique or techniques to use and how to communicate them well will determine your success. The first two may well be the only two that you'll ever need. Okay, the top 10 ways to control real estate. There are only two that you'll ever need to know. And here they are: all cash and conventional mortgage. Now I know that sounds really simple, but stick with me. If you earn a reputation for paying cash and closing quickly, motivated sellers will seek you out. You'll eliminate most competing offers and often be able to negotiate a more favorable entry price. Okay, so here's a tip. It doesn't need to be your cash. Second, conventional mortgage or conventional financing. It's called conventional because it's not exotic. You'll experience a lot less friction when you close deals in traditional ways rather than when you try to do something unusual. Conventional financing can require a down payment of 20, even up to 35% for investment properties. And yes, you can get more leverage and a better return if you use high ratio financing. But when you do that, you sacrifice cash flow and security. Tip on this as well: you don't necessarily need to provide the credit. So those are the basics: cash and conventional mortgage, and you'll never really need to know anything else more than that to grow your portfolio, especially if you work with a competent investment realtor. I've acquired dozens of properties using only those two methods. Now, the next 8 will make you look like a magician. Ready? Okay. Number 3, it's called vendor financing or seller financing, often called a vendor take-back, VTB. This is where you ask the seller to provide all or part of your financing. They effectively become the lender instead of a bank and stand to benefit from monthly or annual. It doesn't have to be monthly because you're just working with the person who's selling you, whatever works for them. So they'll get interest payments and principal payments, but again, you don't have to pay principal either if you agree that you're going to make interest-only payments. And it's secured on an asset that they already know very well. They either owned it or even lived in it themselves. So there's a high degree of security for them. And this works best with a seller who doesn't have any immediate plans for proceeds of the sale. And if you look, you will find plenty of people that fall into that. So here's a tip. Experiment with repayment terms and interest rates that might be attractive to the seller. Sometimes you can find things that are attractive to the seller that don't hurt you. Consider tax implications, and again, speaking to a qualified or a very experienced real estate accountant would be invaluable at this point, and making sure that it's properly documented with the right lawyer. Number 4, option. So an option gives you the right, but not the obligation to purchase a property at some point in the future. This can be a great way to control an asset at a fixed price while you wait for or do something to increase the value. This can be used as part of a wholesaling strategy, or it can be combined with the next method to form part of a rent-to-own strategy or a lease-to-own strategy. So number 5 is a lease or a rental. You don't have to have title in your name to control real estate. With a properly executed lease, you can benefit from the difference between the revenue you generate and the amount you pay to the person you're renting from, the lessor. So you're the leasee, they're the lessor. This also can be used in different strategies, but it could be used for a short-term rental strategy like Airbnb. And then number 6, hard money. So hard money is a type of loan that's secured by real property. These loans are generally short-term and considered of last resort. The lender is most often either an individual or a company, but not a bank. And I'll tell you what, I've looked at hard money on several occasions, and in just about every case, I've discovered that I have family, friends, or close business associates that would be more than happy to lend to me at better terms and a lower interest rate. So hard money is out there. It's a quick way to get things done, but I would encourage you, once you fully understand how it works, don't be afraid to go to people that you already know who may give you more favorable terms and rate. Hard money can be used effectively as part of a flipping strategy. Number 7, assumable financing. Yes, mortgages can still be assumed, but you have to document them properly. It's sometimes called an agreement for sale or right to purchase. But effectively what this is doing, it's using your seller's mortgage by leaving it in place so that you don't have to qualify. As security, title remains in the seller's name, but you get beneficial interest in the property, so you can use it as if you own. It's just what it says, agreement for sale. It's an agreement, it's a legal agreement that the sale is going to take place and eventually transfer title into your name. Here's a tip. Be sure to use an experienced real estate lawyer who understands this contract and knows how to protect both parties. Number 8, trade. You can trade almost anything of value for real estate. In commercial real estate, commonly land is traded or other buildings, but you can trade a vehicle or a boat or anything that's of value. Number 9, sweat equity. Just as with the trade, instead of trading something, you can trade a service. The service might be related to the property that you're buying. Maybe you're going to renovate it as part of your equity, or it could be a service on another business or something that you have, or that you know somebody else that can supply it for you. The tip is to make sure that whatever you're trading is of more value to the seller than it is to you, because you're giving it up in exchange for the purchase. Okay, ready for number 10? Number 10 is my favorite, and I look at it in almost every deal. I always go first to number 10, which is co-venturing, working with people, working with relationships, sharing what I know so that I can do more of it with people who have what I need and need what I have. Hey, thanks for watching this video. For a more complete version, including case studies and free downloads of my full co-venturing package, please go to www.myrealmnetwork.com/summit.